Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about Model Zone. So a few months ago I asked you guys what types of videos you wanted to see from me, and because during that time I was doing a lot of one branded types of videos, a lot of you suggested Model Zone. So I went out and bought a bunch of Model Zone stuff ages ago. I filmed a first impression. The original video I filmed, the footage was terrible and I was really sick with a viral infection and had lost my voice. So when I went to edit it, it was just honestly really bad. The lighting was bad, I couldn't color correct it, and it was just not a good time. And then I refilmed it and lost the footage. And then I had gastro. So here we are today. I have tested a lot of these products out to the core, so I'm really confident in what my opinions are about them, but this is not going to be a first impression. This is not me trying on the makeup. This is going to be similar to my Kmart makeup video and my Makeup Revolution video. I'm just going to kind of go through the stuff that I own from Model Zone, let you know what I think of them, if I think they're any good, what do I suggest, what do I tell you guys to pass on. So yeah, I hope you guys don't mind and I hope you do enjoy this video. And yes, I know I'm looking very fall, wintry, like grunge. I was just in a mood today and felt like being deep, dark and dramatic. Okay, so I'm not gonna ramble too much because I actually don't have much camera battery. I really need to buy a second battery for my camera, but anyway, so let's just jump into it. What do I want to start with? Okay, so when I was shopping for Model's Own makeup, I realized they didn't have a foundation. They had primers, concealers, powders, highlights, bronzers, the lot, eyeshadow palettes, cream eyeshadows, lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, lip liners, but no foundation. So looking at the products in the display in Priceline, I kind of got the feeling, oh god, that bloody thing. I just kind of got like the vibe that it's a bit more of a natural, like skin-like finish type of brand, and that's why they don't have foundations. I don't know if it's just my Priceline that didn't stock their foundations, but their foundation isn't even on the Priceline website either, so I'm really confused about that. This is the Model's Own Face Base Primer. Oil-free, fragrance-free, silicone base, and it is meant to be an illuminating primer. When you moisturize this primer into the skin, it definitely feels a bit tacky and a bit sticky, and the finish of the primer is definitely luminous, but it's not as if there's chunky glitter in it. I don't really find it very hydrating, and honestly, I didn't really see a difference with using this with foundations. It kind of just didn't really do much. So I don't really like it just because I didn't see much of a difference compared to like not wearing a primer to wearing this. So I don't really recommend this one just because it didn't really work for me. I didn't really see a difference, and even though it claims to be illuminating, it doesn't illuminate in the way that I would want an illuminating primer to illuminate, if you know what I mean. If I want an illuminating primer, I want to be beaming, I want to look dewy, I want to see that I'm hydrated and I'm highlighted, but this didn't really do it for me. This product, on the other hand, I love this. This is the Model Zone Sculpt and Glow Liquid Highlighter. This is in the color Rose Gold 02. So I love the color of this. It's kind of more of a thicker consistency, and when buffed into the skin, it is very illuminating and very bronze. Instead of using that illuminating primer, I like going in with this as a primer. I like mixing it in with my foundations. I like wearing it when I've got like no makeup on and I need to color match my neck a little bit, because when I go to work, guys, I don't really wear makeup, to be honest, just because I work in aged care, so I can't go to work looking like this. I'm just gonna sweat it off anyway, really. I do fake tan, so a lot of the time, by the end of the week before I'm ready to scrub off my tan, my neck is a different color to my face. So I love using this as like a color corrector almost, and it also is very illuminating, but it's not like a glitter bomb on your face. It's really nice. It's a beautiful liquid illuminator. I love using it all over my chest and on my body. I love using it as a primer and mixing with my foundation. I just really think this is one of the best liquid illuminators from the drugstore. I really do like this, and I love the color Rose Gold, especially if you fake tan. They do have multiple colors, but this one's my preferred color. I have two concealers here. The first one is the Tea Tree Healing Concealer in Vanilla 1, and then I also have the Model's Own, what's it called? I think this is called like the under eye highlighting. So I'm going to talk about the Tea Tree one first. So this intrigued me. Tea Tree Healer Concealer. So this is definitely not for your under eyes. I guess you could use it under your under eyes, but I didn't even try that because the scent it smells so heavily of tea tree, and it is a very pink based concealer, and I've noticed that with a lot of their cream products from Model Zone. It's just a concealer to spot treat. Like if you've got a blemish and you need to cover it up for work or something, you just dot a bit of product from this concealer wand onto that, and then obviously the tea tree in it's meant to heal it. I didn't test it out because when I was testing out all this stuff I didn't have any blemishes, but the smell of it just freaks me out because too much tea tree is really good for your skin if you dilute it, and the smell of it, this is really strong, and I was too afraid, to be honest, to test it out. I didn't want it to like react with my skin, because even though tea tree is really good for blemishes and stuff like that, if it's not diluted and if your skin's sensitive, it won't work properly and it could like harm your skin. I hate the smell of tea tree. I can't be the only one. I can't stand it. Gives me almost like a migraine, but I don't really recommend this, but just because I don't know, it was just a weird product, and I was like, I'm not sticking this tea tree smelling thing on my face because it scared me. This concealer, on the other hand, I went through with this concealer. It is a twist up concealer with a brush tip, and this is in the color 24 Beam. And this is the worst concealer. No, look, it's not the worst concealer, but it is like paste. It's that very moussey, pasty formula, like the texture of it. Not a fan. And it's very bright, like way too bright for my skin tone. And what I've noticed with it when I'm blending it out under the eyes with a sponge or a brush or even my fingers, there's tiny bits of shimmer in it. And I'm sorry, but I do not want shimmer in my concealer. In saying that, it definitely brightens. It's one of the most brightening concealers ever. You just have to layer it up because it's not that pigmented in my opinion. So if you've got like dark circles or you need to color correct around your eye, you're gonna use a lot of this to get your desired coverage. And to be honest, with a formula like this, when you get too heavy-handed and get too cakey with it, it doesn't look appealing under the eyes and around the eye area. If I want to brighten my concealed area that much, I'll just use like a brightening powder with like shimmer in it. I don't need my cream to have shimmer in it. You know what I mean? The Grand Finale Loose Powder in Translucent 01. Bow bow. This is not translucent at all. I'm sorry, it's not. It's actually the worst like colored powder ever. It changes the color of your foundation. Like I put it on and it made it like a completely different color. It made it like a pinky kind of beigey color, and it was just not a good time. It's a very thick loose powder as well. It can look very cakey on the skin very quickly. It's very heavy. This one's like a chunky powder. Kind of reminds me of the Face of Australia one. I used to love that powder until I started discovering other loose powders, and that one's not even that good. Makeup fixing spray enriched with coconut water and aloe vera. This is definitely one of the nicest mists I've ever tried from the drugstore, to be honest. I just don't like this scent, and I haven't really noticed much. It sets down my powders, but it doesn't make my makeup last any longer than what it would if I didn't use a setting spray. I guess if you're just looking for a setting spray just to set down your powders, this is alright, it does the job. If you don't like aloe vera and coconut though, like the scent of it, you're not gonna like this. This is the Sculpt and Glow Bronzer, Cream to Powder Bronzer in Golden Glow 05. I was super duper excited to try this out because I'd seen someone use it on YouTube and it looked beautiful on them, but it just, okay, do not set your face with powder if you're going to use this, because if you set your face and then try and go in with a cream to powder, it just looks choppy and doesn't blend very well. It just didn't show up enough pigment for me. Personally, I like very pigmented bronzers. You guys know that I go heavy-handed on bronzer, so this just didn't have enough pigment for me. It was tricky to blend, and I always set my foundation, so there's no point in me using a product that needs to go on foundation that isn't set, because I have to set my foundation. I can't not. So it was just kind of it was just a miss for me, honestly. It just didn't really do much. This is another bronzer. This is the Sculpt and Glow Matte Bronzing Tan. Sorry, the Sculpt and Glow Matte Bronzing Powder in Light Tan 01. I love this. This is such a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. This and the Liquid Illuminator are like my favorite products from Model Zone, and I highly recommend it. This is straight up matte, and it's a straight powder. It's not cream to powder like the other one I just mentioned. It's a beautiful caramel, honeycomb, like orangey bronzer. It just blends so effortlessly on the skin. It's just such good pigment, but it's not too pigmented to the point where like it's mud. I love this. I use this all the time and I really, really highly recommend this bronzer, and it's cute. Sculpt and Glow Highlight Powder in Golden Sand 01. Now when you look at it in the pan, you're like, yes bitch, but like it is super pigmented. Not powdery, but it's just got a really drying formula, and I like my highlights to be a lot more creamy to the touch, just because they look a bit more like, not natural, but they just melt into the skin better and they don't look like you've just got a stripe of highlight, where I had that kind of vibe from this highlight. Like you're definitely getting pigment from it, so that's what you always want with a highlight. You want pigment. You don't want to get a highlight that doesn't have any pigment, but that's just not my favorite formula. I like my highlights to be a little bit more creamy to the touch and look a bit more natural and a bit more like, I want it to melt into the skin, like I said just before. I just don't like it when it sits on top, and that one did that for me. Sculpt and Glow palette in Golden Spotlight 01, and it comes with 2 highlights and then also a cream highlight. I don't like this golden one. It's like chunky and just not very pigmented, and same with the middle one. Unless you go in with like a base, they're just super chunky, and they're just not my favorite. And I don't really use cream highlights that often. It's just not my favorite on it. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, it just, I didn't put it on and go, wow, this is amazing, I want to wear it every day. Like, it's doable. You can definitely make it work. If you already own it, you'll be able to make it work. But don't go out and purchase it. I don't recommend it. Like, it's just not the best highlighter. There's definitely so many other highlighters at the drugstore, especially like the one from Maybelline, that's so much better. This is the Supernatural eyeshadow palette. This color scheme I loved because it was something super different. There's lots of cool tones, bronzes, a little bit of warm tones, and then there's this beautiful forest green. I actually like this palette for the drugstore. I think Priceline lacks eyeshadow palettes, and this one's actually not too bad. You do have to work with the shimmers. They definitely need a fixing mist or eye drops. They don't really have much pigment on their own, and they don't really hold their pigment very well, especially if you're like putting it on the lid and then blending it out. If you know what I mean, you're gonna lose it, but they're doable. The mattes are blendable. They kind of remind me of the Sports Girl palette that I tried out. I definitely do eyeshadow looks with this and they turn out fine. I was wearing this in my Kmart haul, my bargain buys, not my Kmart makeup haul, but my bargain buys video where I lost my voice. I was using this palette on my eyes in that video. It's a little brow kit in the color Chestnut, and look, I got Chestnut because the blonde or taupe one just looked like it was not gonna be dark enough for me, and this is like pure red. It works, so like the powder's pigmented, the like little cream that comes in it, it works. Definitely if you want to shape your brows, it helps shape your brows, and the brow bone highlight's really nice and creamy. But I just don't like the color. It's like chestnut, it's like red. I literally look like I had red brows. I don't do red brows. What is this? They're Now Brow, and I got this in chestnut as well because I didn't really have many options for color ranges with the brows, and this is disgusting. This is like literally like wet. Like the spoolie is kind of similar to the Gimme Brow from Benefit. It's the most moist kind of brow gel. You put it through your brows and it just goes everywhere, all over your face, and it just doesn't set properly. I also have this lip liner from Model's Own in the color Naked. I like their lip liner. It is nice and creamy. That's what it looks like there. It's creamy, lines the lips. It's pretty basic. It's a good lip liner. Nothing to really say about it. It's just like a lip liner. But there's ones at the drugstore that are cheaper than that I would recommend. Then I have 2 of their lipsticks here. I got the color, this one is called Baby Kiss, and this is a velvet lipstick. This is super nude. This reminds me of like Flesh Pot from MAC. Like it's so cool toned and just like such a cool tone nude. It's super opaque, really comfortable on the lips. The nude is just way too nude for me. And I also got the color Hello Hawaii, which is a beautiful like coral, and I love this color. This color is gorgeous. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you really did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Also, there's a comment box down below if you have any video suggestions or you just want to have a chat. I'll also leave my most recent videos here on the screen right now, so if you're interested in watching me, you can do so. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.